it's Catherine trying to get Leeds some money off them. What about Leeds playing in the wrong shirts, causing a clash of colours? Cass got a £4,000 fine when they took the wrong shirts and had to borrow
Leeds weren't playing in the wrong shirts.
Yeah,
they were the home team.
I don't know, that doesn't necessarily matter though. There will have been, clearly the emails come and the guy's going, oh, black, blue, yeah, that'll be alright.
I'm going to
But also, I think Richie's right that you cannot have your away kit so close to your home kit.
You can't
Surely,
have your away
Hull
kit in a
have to
black and
have
white
a predominantly light-coloured.
Do we need to go basketball and the away team has a white kit just in case?
NFL do it, don't they? Every game in the NFL has a team in a dark shirt and a team in a light shirt, and that was in the era of black and white photography, sports photography.
Yeah.
So that when those pictures were shown on a Monday morning, you could easily identify it. It's not difficult.
You were doing the commentary yesterday. Ted Lowe had been there doing it for the BBC in the old.
I didn't notice so. I didn't notice.
Hull FC, they're in the black and whites, going from left to right. He'd have been doing that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well,
I mean, I hate to
I didn't notice it too bad.
give you a compliment, Matt, but maybe just because you're quite capable, you can actually tell the difference between the two teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe, no, and I've seen it on the
that's
picture on the
what
telly
we
and
got,
gone,
yeah.
wow, that looks
Yeah.
awful. But when I was there, I never really noticed. You know, you're that
But you were primed and
ready to go.
No, but
And
then
you
there was a few
Field
comments in the
sat,
stands
just
that
to make
said
sure.
what's happening. They're too similar.
Yeah, it was awful. But that needs review. That's not any club's fault. I think that is the fault of the
Well,
guy who
it
started
is
that
supposed
off.
to go
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Have you got a away kit this year?
We haven't got a kit yet.
No. Oh well, I
No,
tell
I don't think.
you, just because last year when you played Warrington, it was ridiculous in the cup.
But then they played us, so did Warrington need an away kit?
Yeah, well, that's fair. Well, blame Warrington actually. Yeah, I'll blame Warrington.
I just don't understand what is the point of having an away kit if when you go to a ground and your kit
Yeah.
clashes with a home
I
kit, you
think
don't
white.
play
I
your
think
away
you've got to have
kit.
a white
Should
kit.
it
Or
be a
yellow
home away
or
kit, or
whatever.
should it just be an alternative?
Well, the key there is alternative. Well, black to blue is not really an alternative, is it?
Because no, exactly. But then
It does give clubs the option.
Castle technically the away team, weren't they, on Sunday?
Don't worry.
And isn't their away kit greyish, like a light grey, and therefore would
They've got
it
three
be too
kits as
similar
well.
to the Toronto kit? So they just played with an alternative kit, not their away kit.
I don't know.
Gives
Anyway.
clubs an excuse to be out a third kit anyway.
You'd have thought
It does.
where we are in the world that we could have come up with two teams that look
You
slightly
would have.
different.
Anyway,
Anyway, they
let's
changed.
never
It's a
mind
bit
the
no-
kit clash.
Yeah,
Never
because
mind
the big
kit
clash.
I mean, that's a good distractor, isn't it?
The big
To,
clash.
It's
The
a
big
big
clash.
real
Come
thing.
on, here we are. Hull FC, the big
Big
pack of.
Do you want to do Toronto first? Because we're going to do it in the order of the games we'll play.
It's like all the build up.
Right, we'll rewind.
I have to say,
Drop
that
that,
as
yeah.
an event, and you were there, it really worked.
I got there.
It was great.
I got there about 5 minutes after kick-off. I had to go get my ticket, and I got into the press box. There was no room. I was getting really upset. But then I thought, I'll sit somewhere else. I thought, there's nowhere to sit. It's full. There must have been 10,000, at least 10,000 people.
We
there
were saying that
at
if
kick-off.
that game had been played at Castleford,
Yeah,
there would not have been as many people there.
yeah.
And a lot of them stayed, so that by the time Leeds played Hull, and full credit to the Hull fans that clearly were there, came for both games and made a day of it, even though it was raining on the Western Terrace. I thought it was a great event for Super
Yeah, it
League.
was. It was. And I'm just wondering if that's a bit
Has
of a
it set a
blueprint.
precedent?
Yeah, I think it has. And I think, again, this is something Robert Elson should be looking at. He's saying, because he did tell it, oh, Luke Fitchers are here 1 year. Well, 2 years later, they're still here. So, Robert, we need you to do something now. And I think you say to teams, you're taking one of your games, be it you lose one this year, you get one next year, and you're going on the road, and we're going to have double headers, and we're going to go to different places, because the atmosphere yesterday was brilliant. Sonny Bill Williams come on, dropped the ball, rounds of the kitchen off everyone. Yeah, but it was
Exactly.
and you could see, he was laughing because he wasn't happy, but he actually had a smile on his face, and it was like, yeah, good, this is good. No one was. There was some good points scored, people clapping, everyone enjoyed it. No one was like, oh, but it's gas, oh, gas.
Well, neither of the games were what you would call competitive.
No, they weren't.
It didn't stop people really enjoying being part. I mean, Sandy will tell you, there were about 120 people in the Toronto party. Now,
cardboard cutouts?
real people.
Some
Some of them actually flew in from Canada. Others were exiles.
I was driving to Headingley and there was for a conference at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and there were Toronto people, but jackets at 9 o'clock in Headingley on the streets.
Probably sold by Steve Masker.
And even though they lost, they loved being part of that event.
Yeah, of course.
But
I
that's the Canadian American sports mentality. Sport is an entertaining commodity, isn't it? It's not. Obviously, it's sport and it's about what the fixtures are, but it's an entertaining like game and fixture, and people watch it because they want entertainment, much like a soap or a. And that's the buy-in. That's why I love the international game. You know, Toronto's got loads of like, should we have them? Shouldn't we have them? Yes, people love watching.
But I've said this the other week, and I covered a lot of their games last year. Is you look at the fan, you get to see because obviously the cameras on when people are coming in milling around, and then they watch they do all watch the game. They're having a beer and whatever, but they are all watching it. Some of them might not know what's happening, but they all actively watch what's going on. And I just thought it was a great event yesterday, and I think we need to say, right, we're going to do more. I'm really disappointed that game's at Warrington. I didn't know that. Is that a double header or is that just a one-off?
It's a single.
So again, how many people with the best will in the world are going to go watch that might have gone and watched?
They've got a
Something
double
else.
header at
York.
is it York?
Because
Yeah.
Wakefield, yeah.
But then for those games, should you not then be double headering with the championship sides and,
Well,
and
maybe,
offering?
yeah, maybe.
Because you get a good crowd yesterday for was it Dewsbury the Bradford game?
Dewsbury.
Because I know that there's a championship. I think Bradford Dewsbury play on the Sunday before Leeds play Wakefield. So that's an opportunity that therefore we need to look into. Develop will more than 2,000 people come if you're getting a championship game followed by Toronto? Because it's a spectacle. They've got some good signings. You've got people you want to watch play rugby.
The national newspaper reporters were sent to that game
Yeah.
to report on
Yeah.
Sonny, purely Sonny.
Yeah.
I want 750
And the
words
Telegraph,
on
thanks to Sonny.
your mate Sonny Bill. Now we can't buy that kind of publicity at the moment.
How many seconds
And with the
did we get
greatest
with it?
respect, however well Castleford may have played, the headline is Sonny Bill dropped the ball twice.
Yeah.
Which I think is
dropped it
harsh.
more than twice.
I have to say, I was impressed with him doing 55 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I know probably wasn't part of the original
You
plan.
better get used to it.
But I thought it was aerobically, he was good.
No, I did.
He looks after his body now, doesn't
but
he?
Well, you would know because you stood next to it.
Well, I know.
I told you I saw him at the shirt launch
Mm.
last week at the Super League launch, and he come out of the thing. I went like that, and then he's just big. He's a big man. But anyway, they got beat, and the worry is they ain't got any players, mate. That's the problem.
That is the worry.
That,
John
you know.
Wilkin injured, went off with concussion, didn't he? So he might not be.
Was that a result of that late tackle?
Yeah. He might not be playing, but yeah, clearly there are some stories in the trade press this morning about the likelihood is that they're going to get another couple of players, and
From Man City, apparently, which would be interesting.
that's going to be
With Sergio Aguero having a game.
allowed by
Here's
the
a thought,
competition.
right? Here's a thought, Toronto. Why didn't they sell one of their players? Like a Gareth O'Brien, who I would say, would easily get another
What, by
deal
three?
and buy 350 grand
Well,
players.
maybe that's.
You know, the facts are, as we mentioned last week, their salary cap management has been abysmal.
and
And this is not to do with Sonny. We know Sonny Bill only's at 150 or whatever, it's irrelevant. Where's the other £2 million quid
Well,
gone is
and,
where I'd
and
be
the
asking.
other thing as well is that O'Brien didn't play, and when you take a key guy out of a team, when
Yeah.
you've only got so few players, it really does have an
Oh,
impact.
no, huge.
I'm just hoping Sandy and all her Canadian friends come down to the Mobile Rocket Stadium on May. When is it? 15th of May? When do we play?
Shout out
17th of May.
John
of
and
May.
John and
are you
Alan,
trying
by
to
the
get
way.
the Canadians to come to
The
to
home, of,
Wakefield?
the home of Rugby League, the Mobile Rocket Stadium, yes.
They go to the Hepworth Garrel.
No, I mean, I'm all for
Nicholas-
building the crowds, but don't build Wakefield to be up something that's not.
As Nicholas.
Let's
whoa,
free
whoa,
wall.
Leeds,
They will not have
Leeds.
experienced
Whoa.
the facility
You
they
can't.
might
Yeah, I
be
know.
presented with.
We've started off.
Some of these guys are a bit of Bradford, they're no
Yeah.
worries.
Leeds
We-
who
we
mix
started
all its
off at the
culture.
real
Henry
deal.
Moore, Castleford Noise, Leeds. You're
But-
making bloody Jay McDonald next. You can't have it.
Nick
So
Martin
yeah,
Kelman. Shout out to John and Alan, by the way, who came over from Canada for the game. They've been supporting the sport avidly for 2 years. They've never
Wow.
heard of it. And we're in this very studio.
Oh, is that who was here, was it?
Yeah.
When we got
And
sacked last
I
week.
think they're still here. They go back tomorrow. So if you're watching, guys, or when you get home,
I'm getting very worried now, by the way, about the fact that I went to Leeds and quite a lot of people said, "Oh yeah, I love listening to the podcast. Thanks for listening."
Leeds and Crisis.
Thanks for listening.
Leeds and Crisis.
Yeah, I
So
went
very
on
teachers.
Thursday. It happened again. I'm in the pub on Saturday. It happens again. It's not on this.
you've got stalkers.
It's not on. Next week I'll be getting messages in what I were doing on Saturday night.
Good job you haven't got a personalised number plate. People can follow you.
Well, to be fair, I wanted a fit state to drive, so that's irrelevant this week. Anyway, we'll move
So
on.
yeah, come to Wakefield Sunday.
So
We'll give you a grand tour. I saw you had a grand tour of Leeds. We'll give you the grand
you
tour.
just cut off then on the podcast. You said I'll give you £1,000. It'll come up. Right, where's me grand?
See,
What do you reckon to
Well,
Cass? Because not convincing, I didn't think.
I thought they come out a little bit in the second half, looking like they knew they'd won.
Yes, I think
In the-
Darryl
in
almost
the-
said that.
In the greatest of respects, that little bit of arrogance that I always think that Cass sometimes have, which is their downfall. Too complacent, too comfortable. You know, a young, flashy side that can really play when they're on the money. But that it was a bit disappointing. You know, you still want to play. You still want to push yourself. You're round one. You need to test your limits. And they didn't, and they just came out and looked a bit.
Yeah, I said last week I thought Castle finished in the bottom four. I got a bit of stick for that on Twitter.
Right.
I think I still stand by it. I don't think
You
I saw
can't read
anything
anything
the
into
other day.
1 week.
No, you can't. If they're all
I thought-
80-0, so you can't. I'm just not sure
There is no
about them at the
ruthlessness.
minute.
I mean, Hull were absolutely ruthless in everything that they did, and we'll come on to that in a minute. But I
But
didn't.
they eased off second half.
But there was at no point did they look anything other than in just complete control.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
could have done whatever. But other than Jake Truman, there were periods in that game where Castle looked really flat. And
But
they're going
is
to
that
have to
because
be
they'd
better.
won or?
I don't know.
Well, that's it. You don't know, do you? And it just looked. That's the appearance.
They've got Wigan this week. I would have thought that Darryl would have said, like, you know, you need to keep up in a level.
Sorry, I'm missing something here.
No,
What's
just-
happening?
She's lit the blue touch paper, hasn't she, saying Castleford are arrogant, because now all the
No.
Castleford people are on saying,
Oh, can I just let you know my
please."
favourite moment of yesterday was walking around with our trophies and walking past the Cats fans that were booing us and saying what the Cats fans need to say. And all I did was just shut my trophy.
That's fine. That's fine.
I love it.
Well, the good
It's
news,
wonderful.
I mean, as I've told you, the good
Thought
news
well,
is,
the idea were not to be as controversial.
I know, the good news is I've tipped Saints doing everything in Women's Rugby League this year, so well done on winning the treble, and we'll look forward to seeing you bringing in the trophies next year.
Yeah, I think you've done well there.